Recap of NCIS. Sydney Episode 8. Dempsey's son is abducted. We were left with more questions than answers by last week's NCIS Sydney episode, but everything came together in the season finale, Episode 8, Blonde Ambition. Todd Lassence's character, Dempsey, was rushing late for his son Jack's, Henry McWilliam, birthday celebration when all of a sudden, the clown who had been hired for entertainment abducted him. In the meantime, the group questioned Anonymous, Georgina Haig, the blonde who had staged a pregnancy in Episode 7. The clown requests a trade-in. When Dempsey got to his ex-wife's house, she gave him the rundown on what little she knew about the clown. Jack called Dempsey on video, sobbing and pleading for his father to come fetch him. On the video, a clown made an appearance and requested to trade the boy for the girl. Demanding to know where his son was, Dempsey stormed into the NCIS interrogation room. Denying all knowledge, she teased Dempsey, who threw a chair at the wall in a fit of rage. After that, Mackie Olivia Swan managed to get Dempsey out. She acknowledged that Nemus's predicament and Jack's abduction were related, but she was unsure of how. All they had to rely on were pictures that a mother at the party had taken of the clown. Mackie paid a visit to Louis Fitzgerald's character, Colonel Richard Rankin. In order to gain no power in her attempt to win Jack back, she sought for his assistance in delaying the FBI's planned arrest of Nemus. Rankin consented to use all of his resources to attempt to delay them. Promotion. A ridiculous vehicle explosion. Under a bridge, Dempsey met Cooper, Tuli Narkler, and Jackson, Cian Sagar. The clown had abandoned the van he was driving. Cooper informed him that their robot had detected what appeared to be a human voice coming from within the van, but it was muffled. Dempsey ran towards the van, unable to wait for the explosive squad. The van blew up before he got too close. When Dr. Penrose, William McKinns, got there, a dead body that had been set on fire was discovered inside. It wasn't the original clown, though, with his lips and hands bound up and a painted-on clown face. Dempsey was persuaded by Dr. Penrose that his son was not in the van. It was believed that the first clown was meant to be replaced by a new clown, but the first clown murdered him. They didn't know why the clown had painted a conifer in his palms, for example. When Gleason, Mavourney Hazel, ran the original clown's images through facial recognition back at the headquarters, nothing showed up, but technology managed to produce an image of him that most likely didn't have makeup on. Gleason also discovered that the explosives in the van were U.S. military grade. To be more precise, it was because of them that we were unsure of Nemus's survival at the end of the first episode when they blew up the speedboat. Mackie verified Nemus's identity as a colleague by showing her the face mock-up. Although she didn't provide Mackie much information, she expressed her desire that the clown would get what he requested since it won't end well if he has to take it. There were more bodies discovered, all holding painted conifers. After some research, it was discovered that the clown was a devout follower of an obscure pagan tradition inside the Russian Orthodox Church. The conifer is supposed to keep bad spirits away from you. Gleason discovered an Orthodox church and a significant Russian immigrant population in a particular area of Sydney. Promotion. The church leader was unable to identify the clown sketch when Mackie and Dempsey spoke with him. He noted that Pentecost, which falls this week, is their most significant celebration after Easter, with lots of meals and get-togethers. Based on that information, Mackie and Dempsey visited a local restaurant to collect all of the receipts from the previous 48 hours in order to determine whether the clown had visited following a service. Dempsey's suspicion was correct. Food was delivered to a storage locker, which was completely unrelated to the typical home addresses. When Mackie and Dempsey got to the storage locker, they found it unlocked. It contained a hot plate dinner that was still warm clone attire and a bag from the restaurant. They discovered Jack's blue baseball cap as well. Sadly, when they came down the hall, they had tipped off the clown and set off a quiet alarm. Executing the switch, the clown sent Dempsey a text message. It had a picture of a seating area with the words, "Please return in 1 hour, disarmed, or bid your boy farewell." Jackson and Cooper recorded evidence from the Nemus case in the interim, but the FBI quickly intervened and assumed control. They found that the technology for interfering with the Gaia-metric signal was still operational. Mackie and Dempsey inquired as to what would have happened in the bunker if things had gone in her favor. Nemus would have used her escape path, turned off the jammer and taken the gyometric technology and fled once everyone had run out of oxygen. Even with the jammer turned off, the illumination in the interrogation room was disturbed by it. Nemus appeared taken aback. As it happened, the off function was never linked. Nemus's employer so planned for her to perish in the bunker as well. This indicates that the clown's original goal was to kill her rather than save her. After identifying him as Yaroslav Benedict Hardy, Nemus gave him up. When the FBI showed up at NCIS, Nemus was taken into custody. Mackie attempted to stop them, but it was unsuccessful. But Nemus was gone when they got to the interrogation room. Anonymous, which means anonymous, wasn't even her true name, according to the FBI, which was furious. Promotion. Dempsey reached the scene. Yaroslav had texted him to arrange the trade with Nemus. Mackie and Rankin both realized what Dempsey was up to. Gleason attempted to locate Dempsey's van, but Dempsey had made it impossible for her to find. Still, she managed to locate his phone and follow it. Jackson and Cooper raced after him and found the bench, but Dempsey had left his phone behind, making it impossible for them to pursue him. Nemus was driven to the new place by Dempsey. There, with a bag over his head, hands bound with painted conifers, Yaroslav was holding a revolver to Jack. Yaroslav gave Dempsey an order to drop to his knees and grab a painted conifer. Yaroslav started to pray while pointing a revolver at his head. Yaroslav swung around and aimed the gun at Jack after Dempsey ordered he finish the prayer quickly. At that moment, Nemus managed to release herself from her restraints, took a revolver out of her waistband, and fired a shot to Yaroslav's skull. Nemus approached Dempsey from behind and placed a gun to his head as he was running to his son. We also struck an agreement. I trusted you enough to give you the gun, he continued. When she reached into his pocket for his keys, she discovered a part of the jammer. As it happened, it had an off button. Dempsey had manipulated her to get her to assist with Yaroslav. Despite her anger, she simply stole his van keys. Additionally, she handed Dempsey Yaroslav's phone so he could call his team, adding, "You might be surprised who answers." There was only one number in the contacts when Dempsey attempted to look it up. He made the call. Rankin's phone rang in the offices as well.